Okay, not right now though, okay?
We have 5 minutes. What do you have? Okay, I think we'll wait. Okay, you know what she's having? You know what the job is? Okay, so one of these is going to stand on one side, and the other one on the other.
Can I choose?
Pardon me? What did you
Is it time to announce?
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Hi!
When it's time, I'm going to announce your names, okay? I'm going to announce your names. All right? I'm going to say. How are you today? Isabel?
Aren't you special?
We have a very short little ceremony here. There's some chairs for people who would like to sit.
Who falls into that category? Already going.
You can fire away. This just seems unbalanced. Oh, that would explain it.
Yes, good point.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone here. Friends, relatives. I would like to also honor the fact that we have the mayor and the deputy mayor here. Thank you very much for attending. I should name them. Chris Gertson is the mayor, Albert Taves is the deputy mayor. I had this idea a year ago, October 2008. I was here in Manitoba for my cousin Tanya's wedding. I was driving around Steinbach and seeing various plaques and monuments to families, and I saw there's a plaque for the CT Loewens and the PT Loewens at the corner of Reimer and Loewen, and I figured, I think we should have one for the AT Loewen family. So that's what this is about, to honor A.T. Loewen and his funeral home. And it also honors his two wives, Helena Ratzliff and Elizabeth Loewen. And as a symbol of the role that the women played in his life in supporting him, this quilt is made by our grandmother, Elizabeth Loewen. This takes a lot of people to actually put this together, and I would like to thank them. The owners of Hanover Terrace, who donated this land. Without them, we could not have even thought of this. They agreed to donate this land to the city of Steinbach. Ted Falk of Diamond Construction and Gravel, Marvin Penner of Pine Towers Landscaping, thank you very much for your services. Albert Taves was consulted. Early in the project, he is the chair of the Steinbach Heritage Council, so he gave us some advice, some ideas. Obviously, the city of Steinbach, their support was actually critical and necessary, and I specifically want to thank Russ Dick for his role. He gave us lots of advice, suggestions, and just how to proceed, and so that was critical. We're just going to have a few more speeches. I'm going to ask Chris, the mayor, to speak, then Albert Taves to have a few words. My dad is going to then have a few words as well, and after that, we will have the unveiling. So Chris, please.
Thank you. Well, it's good to be here this afternoon, and it feels like a kind of a perfect fall afternoon. I'm honored to be here on behalf of the City Council and also the citizens of Steinbach. When I did a little bit of reading about the Loewen family and the A.T. Loewen family, there were two things that came about when it came into my mind when I looked at the business and how they had dealings at that time. And first of all, there was concern for people. And I think it was demonstrated, first of all, by how the business was started by A.T. Loewen. He had concern that funerals needed to be appropriate and needed to be as comfortable as possible for the people that are the families that were having them. And so that is demonstrated really by one of the stories that I read, in that he remembered as a childhood going to funerals, possibly at people's homes, where the coffin or the body of the person who is deceased couldn't even be in the same home, had to possibly be outside because of the embalming process and the services that were not available to people. And so he saw a concern for people and the dignity of people. And despite the thinking of the day, which I understand was not necessarily favorable to the services that were being provided, he continued and he said this is something that is needed, and he saw this as a vision for what needed to be done. So obviously when you have a business and people and you're maybe against a bit of a tide, you're going to have to be pretty creative in making that business work. And so creativity was also a big aspect of A.T. Loewen, from my understanding. Now, obviously creativity meant that he had to have more than just the funeral home at that beginning. I understand he had a secondhand store. I believe he was a bookkeeper for the C.T. Loewen, or his brothers, C.T. Loewens. I understand he even had a taxi service of sorts that aided people getting around. And my understanding is a story about Dave Loewen, and that he actually, before he had a driver's license, he had to be taking someone off to Winnipeg in this taxi service, and quickly stop along the way in St. Anne to get his driver's license first. There's also creativity when it came to the funeral services. Often sometimes there would be more than one funeral service at a time, or there would be distances between them. And my understanding is that Bob, you ended up at 14 taking care of one or two services, for a number of services, I'm not sure. And obviously that wasn't legal at the time, and so the creativity continued, where they had someone as a front, I guess, to look over the service, but really it was being run by Bob at 14. So there again, there was creativity. The first hearse, it was a 1940 Dodge? No, 37 Dodge. Again, if my numbers are wrong, you'll forgive me, but my understanding is that it wasn't only the hearse, but it was the family car. There's some creativity there. It was also a truck to transport other things, and also an ambulance. Now, if I'm calling the ambulance and having the hearse drive up, I don't know how I'd feel, but that was the situation at the time, and that was the creativity that was needed. The business and the family was obviously, these were important parts of the family. Concern for people, a deep concern for people, and creativity. And those are great hallmarks and great attributes to have as a family, but they're also great attributes for a city. And I would hope that Steinbach is continuing to use, and we want to encourage that in all of our lives, to continue to use creativity and also have deep concern for people around us. Those are essential elements, and it's really a good lesson to learn from the Loewen family, the A.T. Loewen family. I'm going to close with it it kind of reiterates what I saw in what I was reading. This is a quote from Ray Loewen in the 1990s. It says, "I come from a family and a community which understood what it meant to combine a social conscience and a concern for people with the principles of free enterprise and the creative spirit." So I hope this is a continued success that this family will have as a whole, but also as our community. So congratulations on behalf of the city. We appreciate very much what the Loewen family has done and continues to do for us. Thank you.